Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name. I would ask for a moment of silence in memory of our past board member and our present zoning chairman board, Bruce Siegler. Amen. We'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Welcome, everybody.
Nice to be here.
I assume in public forum you would like to address us?
I would.
Okay. Would you tell us who you are and the reason? Okay.
So just a little bit of background. My name is Jamie Rogers. I'm here tonight to speak about potential of your community participating in an LED streetlight aggregation project. So I work for a not-for-profit organization called the Adirondack North Country Association, and our office is out of Saranac Lake, commonly referred to as ANCA. And we are an independent contractor to NYSERDA. And my function for the Adirondack North Country Association is to promote the Clean Energy Community Program. And that program had a number of awards which are all filled, but in that program there were 10 action items. When a municipality filled 4 of them, they got designated a Clean Energy Community. One of the things in Clean Energy Communities program is encouraging communities to switch to LED streetlights. And so back, I think it was in April, you were at the meeting that I presented to all the town supervisors in Clinton County, those that attended. And the idea here is, if you recall, back in around January, February, NYSEC, which you're in Zone D territory, came out offering the option to municipalities to stay with the utility, and the utility would convert to LED streetlights. Up until that point, municipalities only had one choice, and that was to purchase them. So now you have the option, and it's a quite attractive option, to say to NYSEC, hey, we're interested in converting to LED streetlights. In your conversion process, it is your responsibility to tell the utilities what streetlights you want where, what wattage, what color, so on and so forth. So the idea that we came up with at ANCA was to say, okay, we have a significant number of small municipalities that have 100 plus streetlights, some of them fewer, that no company's going to come up here just to do 100 streetlights. So what we're trying to do is to put together an aggregation model, and pretty much all the communities so far are in, is to go out for requests for qualifications. And I've got it in there, you'll see in that little one-pager that I passed out to you, that we go out for requests for qualifications to perform the streetlight design. And then that design, through that process, first of all, they would go back and check what they call a forensic audit to make sure that you were properly billed by the utility. So if there's anything that indicates that you were overbilled, most companies would keep 30% of the savings and reimburse the community 70% of the savings. So you could put that 70% if there's any discretion towards your LED streetlight project. So right now we're in the process, we've developed the RFQ, we're going around to different municipalities to see if they're interested in participating. And the reason you would say no, I believe you would say no at this point, is you have no skin in the game, no cost, no commitment to this until we get the cost of what that design for each light is going to cost each municipality. And at that point, we go back to the boards and say, okay, this is what it's going to cost you. Are you still interested in participating? Backing up a little bit, I don't know, have you requested from NYSEC what your buyout would be? I can send you an email, and if you want, you can send that email on to NYSEC. They'll turn around pretty quick and say, okay, this is what the cost is.
I think you might want to be aware of how many streetlights we have.
How many do you have?
Alan?
We don't have too many.
Less than 10, right?
Yeah, if that.
Okay, you still should do it.
Yeah.
You might not want to do the aggregation, but they're coming in around, anywhere around $15 to $20 to $30 a light. And the savings to the municipality is running about 35, 40, 45% reduction. You're going to save 70% of energy usage, and then the maintenance cost that you're currently paying the utility is going to decrease by quite a bit as well. And the reason I'm encouraging municipalities to do the streetlight design is it's important to get the proper design, but it's also important to remember that if you overlight an area and your community members are upset with you, you're gonna have to buy that light out at its full market value to replace it. And that could get a little bit more expensive, probably around a couple $100 between the light and the installation. So that's why I'm here tonight. I will get back to you if you're interested in participating. I do have a resolution that you can adopt. You don't have to adopt it. I just drafted the resolution, so it's kind of more of an educational purpose to board members and community members. And then I will get back in touch when we go out for the RFQ, and I get that dollar amount of what it's going to cost per streetlight. So it'll start with the audit, then it will come in and do the GIS inventory of where each streetlight is located, and then it will give you the proper wattage and the proper color temperature for that light.
Have you had townships with that few lights participate?
Yep. You've converted as small as 10.
We may be 10 or less. I can only think of a couple of districts, Alan, you can help me more. Bayshard Road has what?
Bayshard, Fairbanks.
Fairbanks is only like 2 or 3 lights?
Yeah. Then we got a district here, there's one across the road, there's one at Winter Fair.
I think my...
Be rough guess, it'd be roughly 10 to most.
Well, if I can contact the clerk, would you
Yes, that's fine.
send me a bill and I can do the whole cost analysis and I can look at it.
Those bills be coming separately though, I mean...
Yeah, they got a separate, each lighting district.
Each lighting district have a separate bill.
Yeah.
Like the one across the street. Is
I
that-
think, I don't know, I think that might be hooked up with this here. with
Yeah, that's
the
what I thought, I
building
wasn't
here.
sure.
Yeah.
I'll call the clerk and,
But, no, that's not a problem, I mean, as long as we haven't spent any money yet.
you haven't spent any money yet. That will be your decision when I come back to you with the what money.
Yeah, but when I heard like the town of Plattsburgh had like a couple thousand lights,
Yeah, I think there are a couple thousand.
that's unreal, you know, but...
Well, most of the communities we're working in are right around 100, a little bit
Okay.
more.
Now, I'm sure the villages within the township, the village of Rouse's Point and the village of Champlain has a lot more.
Rouse's Point is municipal
Yes.
electric, and they're
Yes.
doing their own conversion
Yes.
as we speak. The village looks like they're willing to participate in the process as well,
Okay,
because I've spoken to Mayor Martin.
okay. I'm sure they have many more lights than we do, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think they're up into the 100, 130-ish area.
Yeah, that many, okay. Okay.
We just finished up a cost analysis on theirs, what they're
Okay, now
saving.
just call that my secretary, Jane, extension 2, and just tell her what you need.
Okay.
I know where, you know, go with it, but we don't want to say no to something we don't know about yet.
Right. Well, it's, whatever you do, it's going to save you money. May not be a significant part of the budget, but a dollar is a dollar.
Sometimes we're looking for those dollars.
Yep, everybody is.
Can NICEAG tell you how many streetlights we have?
Yes. They'll tell you the wattage.
Yeah, that might
And the
be the
number.
simplest thing, is to get them to do it instead of having.
It'll be right on your utility bill.
Oh, they're on the bills?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, NICEAG might have a better handle on, like Julie probably wouldn't know the wattage with the bill,
I wouldn't know.
but NICEAG's bills are incomprehensible. Literally, and they're
all
good.
kind of funky.
They are good at it. It might be simpler if they told you, with our permission, you said it just took an email to.
Does the state have some lights out within our township?
Yeah.
Town, state roads?
Yeah.
Okay.
The big thing is if you got them in neighborhoods is, not to get them too bright.
That's true.
Main streets are one thing where you get a lot of pedestrian traffic and car traffic. You get up in the 4,000, but in the neighborhoods, it's a little softer light.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I would want to approval of the minutes of our June 12th meeting first.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Take care.
Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to June June 12th minutes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any questions or concerns? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We had a special meeting on June 22nd. I would also like to have that one approved.
I make a motion that we approve the June 22nd minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns about the June 22nd special board meeting? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We have our town clerk's monthly report. We approved.
The 10 new building permits and in the District 6, Water District.
We've only been approving these in the past couple of years, Julie, at the request of the auditor, am I correct?
Yeah.
We didn't used to do these monthly reports. We requested that we approve her monthly reports, and we have been doing that for 2 years now, just for new board members' information. So can I have a motion to approve?
I'll
Town
make a
clerk?
motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's also carried. You have your EMS monthly report for May, June. We're quite busy. Over 100 calls. Okay?
Is this the format that everybody's happy with?
I believe it works.
Okay.
We
Okay.
we have a list of their activities,
Right.
not addresses or nothing,
Right.
just the activities,
This is that.
number of calls they make.
That's
They've made
sufficient.
485 calls already this year. They're on target 1,000, 1,100 calls a year, I think, which is significant. Okay. This does not need to be approved, it's just for information only. Okay. You have your JCO Community Outreach Program monthly report for June. They serviced 107 households. This is strictly for information only. Please review it, it's very interesting. Okay. You have your minutes of the zoning board of appeals. Please read. You get your monthly reports from planning and zoning board both. They're very interesting reading, keeps you up to date on what's going on. We do not have to accept those are strictly for information. We got a letter from Chauvin, our insurance agency, pertaining to a physical inspection that was done here on the premises by our insurance carrier, New York State Municipal Insurance Company, called in New York. And they came up with 4 things that we should update, let's put it that way. 3 of them, I believe, are highway. Well, 2 are highway, completely highway. Is to, there's a website you can check on your CDL driver licenses in case somebody did not turn in any convictions in or anything like that, records. To maintain a CDL license, you have to report any infractions, tickets, the outcome of those to the per union contract, okay? And the other one is sign inventory. They want us to go around the town twice a year, I believe, Alan?
Yeah.
Once in the daytime and once in the night, check and make sure the signs are up and they haven't been stolen, misplaced, gone. And then both in Alan's department, he will take care of those. They want us to have a facility use form for other people that use this room primarily to improve claims defense. The town should consider utilizing a facility use form. That includes holding harmless clause and insurance requirements for outside organization using the town property. Okay. The other one, the last one on your page, is policies and procedures. We do have an anti-harassment policy in place. The town should consider implementing a formal anti-harassment policy, which we do have, and annual training for all employees and elected officials and appointed officials, which we have not done, but we intend to do. Okay? there's a person in the county that does that. That will be done, I hope soon.
I have a question in regards to the facility use form. So is that something that we're going to have our town attorney take a look at, drawing something up, or?
Very easily could. We do not lend this room out to any private parties or anything like that. It's for things that would be of some contribution to the township. We do have several people use it. There's a gentleman that comes in here once or twice a month to help the youngsters in the area get jobs, and he goes to high school also, I believe. We've lent it to different people. If it's for benefit of the town as a whole, not of private parties, okay? Okay. We've had requests for that, we do not allow that, okay? And I believe that we should let people use this room for the benefit of the town residents, okay? I have no problem with that. But I think most places probably do have a form, okay? We may have been a little lax on that, but I don't think we've abused the rule, okay? We let a lot of people use it.
The Board of Elections uses it.
The Board of Election uses it, and there's hundreds of people coming in and out of here that day, okay? The Youth Commission meets here, which is part of the town, you know. So there's different organizations that use it, we have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. If anybody does, just let us know. We are careful who we do lend it to, and, you know, let somebody use it. Any other questions on that? I will run that by Matt Favreau, our attorneys in Jersey City, Jersey Shore, I should say, for the week. Snow and ice removal, we have a contract, a yearly contract, I believe it is, Alan, you can tell me more about that, with the county to take care of county roads in the wintertime?
It's for 3 years.
Pardon?
It's a 3-year
A
contract.
3-year contract. The terms are at the bottom of the first page, it gives you the rates. Okay, they pay twice a year, January and April, Ellen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay? And it gives the rates per mile for the roads that we take care of. Okay? A snow belt road, you'll notice, we have a few of them where the wind blows hard, I guess, say Allen, Lake Shore Road, what else? Mason?
Lake Shore Road and,
Mason Road?
no,
There's another one there, I think. Well, anyways, we get paid more, a little bit more for those, okay? Because they, okay. And this has been an ongoing thing since I've been here, I don't, maybe many years before, maybe. We get close to 100,000 at the end of the contract, and be over $100,000 per year.
Are they usually 3-year contracts?
I believe so, Alan.
yeah, they're 3 years.
And do the increase approximately about the
Yep,
same each
right at the
time?
bottom
So
of the page.
1.4%, I think, or 1.5% the first year, and then 1.4% second? All right.
Okay. It's worked well for both of us. We do no summer maintenance on roads, on county roads. So I would like a motion to approve, if it's the will of the board, to approve the county contract for snow and ice removal for the next 3 years.
This fits your, email.
Yeah.
This fits it. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the,
I can second it, and this is a normal procedure, and we've been doing it for years, and you're happy with it, so it's,
Some years we come out ahead with it, some years like last year, you know, we'll probably,
if the price of fuel goes up.
yeah, price of fuel, price of salt.
So,
You know, this brings up just a discussion that my son and I were having. I know that there's many other states that also have gone away from salt, and they've gone to like a sugar, where they actually use like a beet juice with molasses and other things, and they say that it actually sticks to the roads, and it has much less effect in terms of like on vehicles and things. I've never researched it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe we ought to look into, you know, as an alternative, because the price of salt does continue to,
Well, it went up this year.
yeah.
it's raising havoc with lakes and
that's the environmental piece, you know, so some states have gone away from salt, and they've gone to,
Well, I believe the town of Mariah, correct, doesn't use any salt, they use that mine tailings, Alan?
Yes.
Is that what they are?
That's done out west also.
Yeah.
Pumice.
I believe Denimora, maybe with Line Mountain, had a lot of those tailings up there, on the roads, okay? The argument was, the discussion, I should say, was the reason that we do these county roads, more than likely, we gotta go over the county road to get to our town road. So we just drop the plow and go. I mean, we got the mileage anyways, it might be a little less gas consumption, but we have to go over that road to get to our town roads.
Well, yeah, makes sense to do them. Just,
Yeah, it's like, if
The
we're gonna
question
get to
of- they
get to
didn't-
the other end of the Ridge Road, I gotta go
Right.
down the Valley Road, the county
Yeah.
road.
And off the Ridge Road, which is a county road,
And
part of it is.
And it's a good income, I mean, it's a good income for the town. And like I say, you break even, but it also,
Well, you got some years you break even, some years you come out ahead, but it all depends on the winter.
you still gotta,
It's a gamble we take, but it's worthwhile.
but it's, the question is, should we be using salt or not? I mean, I don't know, I guess it is a discussion for the
We
environment.
buy our salt through a county contract, Alan. The county is the one that puts the bid out, and all the towns can pick it
And I'm
back
sure
up.
they've done research as to what
I'm
is
sure.
better for the environment, you know, I would think.
Okay. One of the big reasons I believe the town is putting, the state's putting up these salt sheds is to keep the salt runoff, you know,
running into
They haven't
Yes.
found a better alternative.
yeah. Well, maybe better ones, but is it as cheaper as
Cheap.
reasonable? Okay. Okay. I mean, some states where you don't have to maintain roads like we do up here, yours a lot cheaper. A guy told me you build a road in Hawaii, it lasts for 25 years, you don't have to touch it, you know? Did I have a motion on that, Julie?
First and a second.
Argue.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions? No. Concerns? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. Sign that tomorrow. We have I think most of you are aware, a band anticipation note to pay the contractor for the West Service Road Sewer District. We have a $415,000 grant from the state for that sewer district. The total bond is $481,255. Okay? This is a construction note, so to speak. This is bind us over, so we can pay our bills until construction is done and our money's reimbursed. This is $415 will be reimbursed by the state, okay? And it leaves us roughly $66 or $67,000 to bond on a band note. And we have not decided yet whether that's gonna be like a 10 or 15-year note. Our share of the construction project is roughly $67,000 over approximately 10 or 12 years on that district. Okay? And we were discussing today with the engineers how we're going to recoup, assess those landowners. There's no residential, it's all commercial. So I guess I'm asking for a motion to approve a bond with Champlain National Bank for $481,255 for the sewer district on West Service Road, sewer district number 6. Any questions? Everybody understand pretty much? Okay. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the bonding resolution and authorize the supervisor to sign it pending confirmation of the bonding requirements.
Thank you.
I second
Thank you. there are no questions, I would like a roll call vote on this. Rick?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Aye for myself, thank you. This will be in place in a week. Alan, do you have anything on highway reports?
No, I'm gonna start paving the end of July. Gonna pave Prospect and got that other road, and I got that little road there, that little road I wanna pave. So
Okay.
hopefully we can get that done the end of July. About it. Then we're gonna pave the parking lot. I got contacted Beware Construction, we might be able to do it before the county will do it. He gave us a price last week, trying to get it down a little bit, make it a little bit more reasonable.
We intend to pave the parking lot in the front of the office building here, not in the front of the highway garage.
The corner of the court.
Yep. It's in the north, okay. It's something we've been talking about for 3 or 4 years or more. It's,
I got the Gamlau Road and Prospect, they're roughly 2.5 miles. Then I'm gonna have some more blue out and ends the other side of town. Got the Globe Road to do, and I got the patchwork, we're gonna cut those roads for the water there.
Okay. Yeah, that all should work well. Prospect Street, you're going from,
It's gonna go from 276 to the village limits.
Okay, thank you.
That we paved those roads, there's an agreement that's floating around between the school and the town regarding the water.
Yep.
Will you be able to go under the road if it's
I
paved?
think it'll happen
But you
if it gets-
discussed that, right?
If it goes to the town, that water line, I think I'm gonna be able to bore underneath the road. You know,
So you don't have to cut it again?
I don't have to cut it.
Is
So
that-
push the shove, once this gets settled, with the school and the town.
Yeah. We're not acting on the tentative agreement, I would call it, that we had from the school getting to that line. It was not a permanent thing, it was a 2 or 3 release renewal thing. It's not quite what we wanted, so we're not going to act on that.
You can explain the rationale for that?
No.
Just because?
You got a copy of that?
No.
We just got that, Brian, that.
I have a copy.
Yeah.
I've read it.
Okay.
Basically, we want to
Well,
not turn it over.
I talked to our attorney late last week, and he was not to approve that without table it, okay? Yeah, we took a roll call vote on that, okay? Thank you. What else we got? Snow ice removal. Okay, this, my glasses back on, I guess. Okay, yeah, this, I have to take care of this with the bank, this is the signing for that note.
Yeah.
You authorized me to do that. Okay. I explained to that gentleman that was presented tonight, last week, a couple months ago, that we only have like very 8, 10 streetlights. He's still interested, so we'll see where that goes. Charter, I don't want that. Julie, what do you have for us?
We've
What?
got that public hearing on the cable franchise contract. Do you have that, Glenn?
No, I spoke with Kevin Egan on the phone, and we talked about he reminded me, yes, I had to go to a public hearing, and he mentioned I had the last board meeting for the public hearing that we approved. And there's also another reason for the public hearing, the legal language that we want for junkers.
Yes. And
And
then,
that was gonna be forwarded to federal, and then back, and we had to have a public.
we have not either one of those. We're not going to act on either one of those tonight.
Okay.
Okay. I will act on those when I get advice from our attorney. Okay.
only change in that agreement with the cable people.
Right.
And it's basically a mirror image of what the village is. It's reasonably wrong.
We have very little control over that one, okay? Julie, what do you have for us?
The only thing I have is this water district number 6 disbursement approval number 45 for Bernie and Carr for $2,287.50.
Need a motion to
I
approve?
make a motion that we approve the payment to Bernie and Carr for $2,287.50.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
What was the specific service?
They need identification money.
You're on camera right now, but I agree with
Yeah.
that.
If the service is rendered, that's all I can really tell you.
Okay.
There's a budget line for
I know
that.
it sounded like our code enforcement officer.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a budget line for that.
Yep, okay.
It's within the budget, let's put it that way. We all have to sign off on those. Do you have any other monthly bills other than this one?
No.
Okay. Do you have anything else, Julie?
Just that tonight I was supposed to have the pre-water bill report ready for you guys for approval for the
Yes.
water bills. But there was an issue this afternoon with changing the rates. So I couldn't get it done, so I was gonna ask for approval that Larry signs off on it when I get it done. I guess I don't have to change the rates yet anyways.
There is new rates that take effect July 1st. That billing won't go out till the end of September for the third quarter, if I'm correct. So she does not have to change the rates for this billing, but the next one she will have to, okay? Okay.
I didn't get a second on that.
I'll second that.
Oh, to,
That disbursement thing.
oh, disbursement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I approve it.
$2,287.
Who would like to second that? Thank you.
Brian,
Oh, Brian did, okay.
$2,287.
Roll call vote, but everybody has to sign it. Rick?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
John?
All right.
Thank you. Myself, thank you for the sign up on that. Then we're the ones that has to. Roll call vote. Anything else other than the monthly bills? I can't think of it now, but, okay. On the monthly bills, we have an additional one, I got it this afternoon. Normally, the zoning board members and the planning board members get paid for their meetings, only for the meetings they attend. Between January 1st of this year and now, Bruce Seguin attended 2 meetings. He was chairman of that board. He got $75 per meeting. We'd like to pay him, not make him wait, his family wait till the end of the year. So we owe him $150 added to the monthly bills that you got on here. Okay? We certainly do thank Bruce for all he's done for us over the years. He's a very valuable board member and community member. Thank you. Is there any, I need a motion to approve the bills before we discuss the problem?
I'll make a motion.
Monthly bills?
Approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Is there any questions or concerns on any of the bills? We did have a slight problem with our computers yesterday. They got us up and running late today. We do have to buy some, I don't know, some modem. What is it, Brian? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Your internet access.
Yes.
Probably more.
That will be on next month's bill, I'm sure. That's on order. They got us up and running.
Who does the service for that?
Novatech,
Um,
out of Plattsburgh, out of Rand Hill, Plattsburgh.
ordinary and
These are
monthly
pretty
bills
much
that we
ordinary.
get. Nothing unusual on them, right? It's like the two that I've seen, it look like it was possible business.
Okay. Did I have a motion, I believe, second?
Yeah.
Any questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Hope I didn't miss nothing. Anybody else have anything to bring before the board? Can't imagine.
I do. I have a,
Yes.
I don't know if this is the right time to bring it up or if it's not, but we have. And I'm just trying to catch up on different agreements that we've had, or we didn't have, or we haven't
We should have had.
addressed it.
Okay.
And I have paperwork, it's like 2014 on this intermunicipal agreement between the village and the town. Is this a good time to bring it up, or I don't?
Well,
It's not something that's never been addressed, and I don't.
well, it has been.
It has been, yeah.
Yeah, we've signed off on this? These
Well,
are-
that's a signed agreement right there. A signed agreement, but the village wants to sit down and discuss a new agreement with us.
We had two agreements. We had a revised agreement, am I correct?
The current one is September.
Yeah, I got both January and September,
Yeah.
and it's
September-
confusing.
September, no, well, the January one
Doesn't
has no,
exist?
is nothing. It was the original agreement. The September one superseded it. September 2014 superseded it. That's why it's confusing to have both. When the one we're working with is the September 2014.
That was the last one that DFC,
And this is 2014,
understand?
and but I guess I just don't understand it. And even though it says that it should be a work in progress, it should be a continuation. These are kind of like, the way I understand it now is like issues haven't been settled, even though you have two agreements.
And we have one agreement.
Okay, let's say you
That's
take
it.
the September agreement.
That's the only
Okay,
agreement
but
we
the
have.
agreement in here is to say that all these things can be renegotiated, and they've never been renegotiated. 4 years.
Well,
So I guess at what point do we address it, or do we not? Do we just keep going on and not addressing it? I don't understand this.
Well, part of the reason was, those were put in everybody's mailboxes to look them over and see what questions they would have. And Larry last month appointed Rick to the board so that Rick would go over that, and I did mention it to the mayor that he would be going over it.
the ifs,
I saw him today.
Rick, Brian, and correct me if I'm wrong, the old agreement, the first agreement, I should say, EFC would not approve the loan. They made us revise the agreement in order to get the loan. It was not by choice, it was mandated to us. And the mayor signed off on it, and I did too, the board did here. We had to revise it to the likings of EFC, so to speak.
They were the lenders of the
They
money.
were the lenders of the money.
And
So they made us revise it. Now, it does say it can be changed, negotiated, okay? In order to get the original loan, we had to go with the second
Well,
revised
I
agreement.
can understand that part, but 4 years ago, it was signed, and 4 years ago, it was 2018, and nothing's changed. I mean, nobody's met.
Oh, we've met.
Well, doesn't appear that there's been,
Brian and I met, two board members from the village met
it doesn't appear that,
several months ago. We got, well, it was before our payment was due in January, so it was probably like November, December. Okay, it's the last meeting we had. Okay.
so, this is, what you're saying, this is a dead issue, that this is.
No, I don't think it's a dead issue.
It's, I don't know, so where do you go? At what time do you address it again? What time do you, I realize that you have a new guy, we got Rick that's gonna be meeting, but has there really been a consensus between the two boards to sit down? These guys, we should be, they're doing everything for us. They're I mean, you got a project now, somebody's working, I heard today that, this Mike Joliker, even though this Ware guy has a construction and he's putting in a service line, that Mike Joliker's doing some work for him, to tap a line.
Tap the line.
No.
You have to have a water license to tap the line. The
Is
only
he
one-
doing that, getting paid? You know, I mean, I guess at one point, it seems to me, and again, I'm a latecomer here, but it seems to me that this is, we should be, I don't know, cuddling up to the village of Champlain, because they're gonna do everything for us. They're giving us water, are they not? They're repairing our lines.
No, they're not giving us water.
Well, I mean, they're
If
our producer of the
They're
water.
the supplier of the water.
The supplier of the water, they have costs, they have to have chlorine, they have to have bills, they have to,
That's all factored into the price of the water that we're paying. What we don't have, we do not have a water and sewer department,
right?
so we have to rely upon them.
And we
Okay.
pay them for major repairs, and like for fire hydrant repairs, we're paying the village
No.
to have.
No.
You're hiring Mike Joliker to do that.
Okay, we're hiring, we're subcontracting.
Correct.
Mike
Yes.
Joliker.
Right, so we,
And for the water hookups, for putting the meters in, we're paying Mike Joliker.
right, and they
Through the
read,
village,
they read the meters.
yes.
They do everything for us, except we've
Well,
got the bond.
we pay for that. We pay for that. That's why there's a difference in what the village resident pays and what the town resident pays. That spread is, we pay more to cover their services.
So,
If it was even rates, if we were paying the same rate as a village resident was, then you could say we're on an even basis, but
Why would they do that? I mean, they put those
Well-
wells, let me finish. They put those wells in about 25 to 30 years ago. The village residents paid for those wells. I know, because I've been paying my taxes in the village all those years.
Your taxes
Wells were
don't pay
put
for the
in.
wells. Your
Not part-
taxes don't pay for the
My
wells.
water bills.
Your water bills.
So village residents paid for the water.
Yeah,
We
well,
lucked out, we got 3 artesian wells there. So that was already there. But
we've
the
always-
only point I want to jump in here and say, I'm strongly, again, urging that both municipalities get together and put all these issues, every one of them, out on the table and say, how are we going to address these? And talk about it.
100% agreement.
But it's not
100%
happening.
agreement.
Like, I think it
100%.
should happen.
Yeah,
We got a sewer project coming in. What it's gonna charge gonna be for that? How much is who's gonna pay for the sewage that comes into the village? How's it gonna be determined, how they gonna determine the rates of that?
well, currently, they've given us the rate.
Yeah, we already pay the village fee.
Now I'm
Yeah.
talking about the new sewer coming in up on the West Service Road.
The new customers on the Western Road are gonna have to pay what we've been paying the village to accept our sewer.
Right, the sewer rates, commercial, which these will be, commercial sewer rate is $13.28 per 1,000 gallons.
And that's the new sewer district. That's what it is.
Right, that's what the rate
paying
is
now.
that they gave us. Yeah, that's unchanged, that's unchanged. It says it right here, the commercial rates are staying the same for the year, the same as the water rates.
Yeah, our commercial users now, mainly on Route 11,
Yeah,
they are paying that rate now.
yeah, so it's unchanged. For one year.
They're all paying, and
There's no
the
sewer.
village to accept their sewer.
There's no sewer rates in Blue Line.
They have, the village has town outside sewer customers. So then, and they would be, it's all one district now,
The sewer district would be the same.
yes. So for the year. I mean, after that, we don't know. It's $13.28 per thousand.
Do we pay them the $30,000 annually?
That's in the contract. We have not paid it for this year yet. We have not raised enough money to pay it. They're aware of that. They do all our, the meter readings and that was supposedly including the water billing, but they're not doing the water billing. Julie's still doing that. Okay. And I agree, we need to sit down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but again, the only thing I see is 2014, is 2008. Nobody sat down. I mean, this should be a flowing, this should be gone over, and I'm not criticizing anybody, but this should be a very fluid every 6 months. Now that the water is in, and the cost, and the expected, you can't say, well, we pumped 12 million gallons this year, we're gonna estimate that we're gonna pump more or less. I mean, there's gonna be a give or take. It has to be a fluid, but I still think that it should be, something like this should have been renegotiated. The EFs are, you couldn't get the loan because some other agency came in and told you to do it, changed it. But then they still leave in the quasi, if it doesn't work out, you can raise your rates or lower them, and nothing in here says that it's all
Set in stone.
set in stone. It should be a very fluid thing, and we,
And they
in
have.
order,
They have raised their rates since that year.
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like it is. I don't know. It sounds to me like it's not coordinated very well. I don't know why, what end, but
Right.
we need to meet, I mean, these coming up with an agreement, having the sign and saying this is the law because it's written here, not really. It's written, yes, everybody signed off, but they also signed off on the first one. And then you get a second one because another agency comes in and says, well, I don't know, can we give you more money or not? And they can tell you that, the water isn't $5. We're not gonna pay $5 for metered water for 1,000 gallons. Never happened. It cost the village probably more money to give you that that water
It's
for them.
722 now?
So this should be like a yearly thing that should be reworked.
We really don't have a year's usage yet on the new system.
Right. You got about what?
9 months.
9 months.
We do.
And now we can try
Get
to
a better,
an estimate.
better handle on it.
Better handle on it.
Yes. I agree.
Where we, and every time we reach out, it seems like Mike Oliver must be running, or
Ragged.
Mike Jolliker running ragged. I mean,
Yes.
what happens if we can't use him? I mean, the guy has a contract with the town to do this water. And yet he's reaching out for Mike Jolliker from the village to do his work for him. Sounds like to me. If he's got to ask Mike Jolliker to cut into the line, the water line, I mean, maybe the village doesn't want anybody else to do this, and they specifically say, Mike Jolliker's the only guy that's gonna tap into the water. Or where came in, gave you a contract and said, well, I can do all this work. Just have Mike Jolliker do the work for us.
Well,
I mean, when you look at it on a different contract, look, Mike Jolliker is employed by the village.
yes.
What happens if he's doing work for us and he gets injured? I mean, it's nice of him to do all that stuff. I don't know, it's just,
I don't know how long it takes to tap a pipe and not work.
well, it's,
Half hour, it all depends, the circumstance, everything.
yeah, I mean, I know it's a great gesture, but still, in the long run, the village and the town should be so joined together. They should be welded together in this project, because if they go down, we go down. If we go down, they go down. This should be, it should be we should be hugging them. bringing in, we should be as close to them as we can to make sure that this water project is successful on both ends.
It will
And I get the feeling, again, I'm an outsider, a newcomer to this, but I get the feeling it's not that way. You present it as it's a chummy thing, but I don't think it is that way. I think
What?
that we have to get somebody, we have to be together. If it takes weekly or daily contact with these guys and make sure that what they want is what is gonna be good for us and what we want is good for them too. That's just, I guess that's the feeling I get when I try to figure out the research on this. Nobody talks about it. We come to a board meeting, nobody talks about it. It's put on. When are we gonna talk about it? If I don't bring it up, nobody talks about it. Just say, well, let's go on to the next meeting.
I do want to point out that we do have a decent relationship with the village. And this morning, in fact, the mayor had some questions about some of the West Service Road contracts, and I brought information that I thought would answer his questions to the best of my ability, and we had a great discussion, and there was no problems on either side that I was aware of. And it was a good meeting, and I left, telling him, if I can provide it, let me know. He gets some stuff and I get some stuff, doesn't necessarily mean we get the same things, but those kind of meetings go on all the time. It doesn't necessarily have to be in an IMA agreement or something where it has to happen every day. If we have a question or we need to communicate, we do. Greg has always been good to meet with, and we've met with him many times. And this morning was a meeting, to answer questions to the best of my knowledge, and working with Greg to make sure he and I were both on the same page as far as the hookups for the West Service Road. So these things, we are working with the village.
Yeah. Well, I
I
appreciate all the effort you put into it, and I'm not discrediting anybody here on the board, but, it's like when we got the rates, the last board meeting, and we had to vote on it, it's like, holy crap, this is like, where did this come from? Nobody knew. So we called him on the phone, and within, 20 minutes, we got it dropped for $1, whatever it was, 35 cents. Why wasn't that discussed before?
It was discussed before.
It's discussed for months.
Yeah.
We've always, ongoing discussions. Mayor and I got a good relationship, I feel.
Well, I'm not saying you don't have a good relationship, I'm just saying it seems like, if we have these agreements and they're outdated, then they should be, that's all I got. I guess I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, but that's all I have to say is that it would be nice to get something new, something refreshed, and something that we can show to the town and the village that, hey, yeah, we're gonna be successful in this water project, and we're gonna do the best that we can to keep the lowest rates possible by keeping a good open line of communication between the two. We're not gonna agree on everything, but to keep this thing going in the right direction at the lowest cost possible.
It's very
I guess
expensive.
that's all I have to say.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Yeah, I forgot about you. Calvin?
That's all right.
Go for it.
Just an observation, first of all. I think I try to drive by Bob Benn Park a couple times a week, and the grass is growing, so I think Alan's done a heck of a job there. It's looking good, and hopefully it'll look even better a year from now. And the other thing is, when I got here late last month, there was some talk at the time, and I echoed it at the end, about the safety concerns on the Prospect Hill Road with the bike path. Just wondering if there's any more to report at this point in time.
Yep. So we're hoping to move forward on that issue.
Yeah, we have meeting Thursday with the county to see if we can get at least the stencils in right away. Just right now, maybe next week, Alan's gonna be there, Harry and the county engineer, county highway department person. So hopefully.
See if we can get some kind of, what we call it candlesticks.
Mhm.
See if we can get something there alongside the road.
Yeah, get the painting on the,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that path,
that's-
and then get
stencils
something to, something standing up that'll
Yeah, I'm
delineate.
gonna try to get those candlesticks, I guess they call them, but right now, immediately, I'd like to see the stenciling, like they have in the village of Ross Point, different municipalities, that bicycle stenciling, so it designates it.
Well, that could be confusing, because in the village of Rouse's Point, that stenciling is right on the street.
Well, yeah.
You drive right over it with your car, so
Wow.
you gotta make sure that people understand it's strictly a bike path, because when you're in the village, you drive over it, because that's stenciled
Right.
on the street.
Yeah.
So that could,
There's not much we can do, either that, if we don't stencil it at all, then nobody.
no, you gotta put something there, but, make sure it's something that,
Maybe a double line
Yeah.
from where the rumble strip is, a double solid line there, and then stenciling.
yeah, I
Because then,
think,
if you look at Chapman Street, right at the top of it, when it turns into Prospect, the stenciling from the village is on both sides of the road,
Right.
and it goes nowhere.
then it disappears,
It just disappears.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have to try to direct it to that side.
Yeah, particularly now when, we haven't yet paved, not painted our own stripe down the center of the road. So particularly right now with no painting on the, once you get to the golf course, there is some paint there on the road. But
Yeah.
on the west side of the Hayford Road, there's no paint on, if there's paint there, but you can't really see it, so.
I put in to get Prospect restriped this summer.
Yeah,
So when I'm done paving, they're gonna stripe it off from Champlain all the way.
yeah. But, getting that bike path painted and, you can get those candlesticks up, and you said immediately, and that's
Yeah.
that's a,
Later.
stay with that thought, I think.
Thursday morning, we need to,
And I do believe, the end of next week, the park is gonna be mowed, Alan.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do in Bob Ben Park next Saturday. I get 3-4 guys together, sharp lawnmower blades.
Buy the ones.
You'll find out where the rocks are.
Oh, we picked those all up, they're gone.
There shouldn't be too many.
I picked up two.
You can keep them. Oh, I'm sure, it'll grow turf, I'm sure, Okay. Anybody else have anything? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a second tonight? All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you.
That's what I was in this,